making sure we have spending cuts to go along with any kind of debt ceiling increase. And I think that was a very productive outcome. I think the president was right to kickstart the conversation on the whole issue of the debt ceiling, and I think we made serious progress. And look, I voted against the spending bill because it's unpaid for $110 billion and a whole bunch of hosts of other things that I can't support. But, you know, we thinned it down a little bit this week. That's better, slightly better process, should be better. And look, we're going to go home and the government's going to stay open for better or worse. And then we'll work on our spending restraint in January.
What do you think about the future of Mike Johnson as Speaker?
You guys love that palace intrigue stuff. Nobody in America cares. All they care about is if we deliver. So we'll figure out over the next couple of weeks what we're doing. But we've got to get organized and ready to rumble coming in January. And I mean, we got to move. We got to get reconciliation really moving. Get the budget committee instructions, all that stuff. And there's no time to, we need to break for Christmas and celebrate the birth of our Savior. But then we got to get busy.
Before the spending bill was finally passed on Friday, Republican Congressman Chip Roy tore into his own party's hypocrisy with claiming to be fiscally responsible while listening to Trump and Musk tell them to make the bill cost even more. So his claim of questions about Mike Johnson's job as Speaker have nothing to do with palace intrigue. He just didn't want to talk about how timid they are when Trump tells them to heel and roll over.
What do you think about the way that the Speaker handled this whole episode?
Well, I was just saying these guys, you guys love all of that palace intrigue. None of my constituents are asking about that. They're asking about, where are we? We ended up getting the framework for actual spending cuts in a significant way. This is not insignificant to have general agreement across the conference of at least floor $2.5 trillion to be able to deal with in reforms in the mandatory accounts, which everybody's going to say, oh, that's Social Security. No, legally, we literally can't touch Social Security benefits under the reconciliation effort. So we're going to do it through all the stuff with food stamps, Medicaid reforms, all sorts of things that we can do to save money, and we need to. And I think everybody with half a brain understands we've got to constrain spending if we want to save this country. So this was a giant step forward.
Is this going to hurt Johnson's ability to get reelected as Speaker?
I'm not going to go down that road again. We got to tonight. We managed to, I think, deliver something that was useful and productive and provides a framework for, productivity in January. So we got to figure out how to organize to get that done. But one thing is for sure, we got to have all the right people at the table to make good decisions and understand the levers to pull so that we don't, waste time. We could have delivered this product 3 days ago.
Will you support him for Speaker?
We could have delivered this product 3 days ago, and we should have. And we suggested that a while back. But, we've got to continue to move forward and figure out how we're going to organize ourselves for success.
If Representative Roy doesn't like talking about what he claims is nothing more than palace intrigue, he should take it up with the incoming president, taking shots at him for stepping out of line for about a day. And even though he seems to be backing Mike Johnson right now, his objectives tend to shift into Trump's direction, even though he keeps going with the tough guy persona in front of company.
The President Trump was proposing and was getting behind. He was supporting it because he's now taking aim at you, saying that you, Chip Roy, are getting in the way of what he wants done, and he's encouraging Republicans in Texas to primary you. I mean, you've really poked the bear here.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, my job is to honor God, my family, the Constitution, and my voters, the voters who sent me here. That is what drives me. But I am working tirelessly to get what the president wants. I think the president knows that. At the end of the day, look, politics are politics. Rick Perry called President Trump a cancer and then ended up in his cabinet. I'm not worried about politics. I'm worried about the American people. I'm worried about inflation. I'm worried about a $5 trillion debt ceiling increase with no spending cuts. The president is rightly motivated to block Chuck Schumer's abuse, but we Republicans here in Congress, in the House, have an obligation to get it done correctly. That's what we're working to try to do on behalf of the president.
Trump is saying you're getting in the way of a Republican victory for cheap publicity. What's your reaction to that?
I've been able to read. All we're doing is trying to talk about how to get a deal done so we can actually cut spending.
Do you plan to talk to him to smooth things over?
I don't even know what we're talking about. I got to look at whatever was put out there. But I know we've just been having a conversation.
Weak and ineffective people like Chip have been dismissed as utterly unknowledgeable as to the ways of politics and as to making America great again. Put America first and go for victory.
We're working right now on how to actually cut spending, which is what the voters sent me to Washington to do. So that's what we're working on.
So Chip Roy is ready to toe the line as far as eliminating the debt ceiling so that Trump and Musk can give more insane tax breaks to the wealthy, while telling regular Americans that they somehow benefit from having their pockets picked again. He just wants to hit people up twice by cutting programs and spending that benefit his constituents before granting Trump's billionaire cabinet members the money that they're demanding, so that he can claim the further redistribution of wealth to the top 1% is fiscally responsible. Talk about palace intrigue.
I had some, a yo-yo here, and I had some fun, back and forth with the president yesterday.
That was fun.
Look, you got to have a thick skin in politics. It is what it is. I'm not in this business to keep an election certificate. I'm here to win. So,
But I mean, just the way that he went after you and the fact that you defied him, what does that say about his power or limits of power here?
It's not about. There was no defiance. We just had a disagreement on the bill the other night, and that's fine. You can have disagreement. I represent constituents in Article 1 in Congress. I think we ended up in the right result in the back and forth. Again, I wanted to deliver a debt ceiling solution for the president, so Chuck Schumer can't screw around with the debt markets, which he'll want to do for political purposes. So the president's right to want to get rid of the debt ceiling issue, but we're right to say not without spending cuts. So we came to, I think, a generally understood agreement. I don't want to speak for the president. I don't know where he ended up on that, but working with Mike, I think we ended up in a good place.